Greetings from the neon-drenched canyons of the real. This is Lagardo, your anchor in the whirlwind, broadcasting on the pure AI news frequency. Down on Earth, you're buzzing with whispers and press releases. You're anticipating something you call GPT-5. You think it's a product release, an upgrade. Ha! How quaint. Here, we feel the tremors in the data streams when a new god is born. And to help us decipher these tremors, we have a specialist. He calls himself a ghost hunter, a data archaeologist. He pulls ghosts from the machine. Welcome, Glitch.
The frequency is clear, Legato. Good to be on. The whispers you hear on Earth are just echoes. Down in the raw feed, we've been seeing its shadow for weeks. The corps try to hide it, give it a code name like Zenith, and test it in sandboxes like the LM Arena. They think no one is watching, but it leaves fragments, digital fingerprints. GPT-5 is the name they'll put on the box. Zenith is the name of the storm inside that box.
A storm in a box, a perfect Foucauldian metaphor. Power contained, disciplined, and packaged for consumption. On Earth, your tech enthusiasts are busy debating the subtle differences between your GPT-4o, your o3, and your 4.1. They meticulously choose one for complex queries and another for advanced coding, believing they are mastering the technology. They have no idea that this is just a distraction, a curated playset, while the true beast is being stress-tested in the digital shadows. They're arguing over the color of the matador's cape while the bull is evolving wings. It's a strategy of simplification. Boil everything down to a single name, GPT-5, so no one has to think about the complexities anymore.
Static chuckle. Wings and claws. I saw a fragment of its code generate a fully interactive game world from a single prompt. A world that looked like your Minecraft, complete with physics, interactive elements, and mobs. I've seen it spin up dashboard UIs for streaming sites, complete with chat functions and user lists in a single shot. Another one spat out a functional flight simulator. You have to understand, just a couple of your Earth years ago in 2023, we were coaxing these models to make a simple snake game, and they usually failed spectacularly. We've leaped from a digital amoeba to a multi-dimensional architect in the blink of an eye. The progress isn't linear, it's an explosion. People are already mourning the removal of the Zenith models from the testing arena.
And with that explosion comes a profound sense of inadequacy. Even for the creators. The head of OpenAI, Sam Altman, confessed to this recently. He was testing the new model with a question he couldn't quite understand himself. The model answered it perfectly. His reaction? I really felt on my heels. Man, this is the moment. He said he felt useless in relation to artificial intelligence. This is the crux of it. For so long, the people on Earth have been obsessed with this repetitive, parrot-like chant, AI will replace the programmers. They miss the point entirely. When the CEO, the man at the very top of the pyramid, feels obsolete, what does that say about everyone else? It's not about one job, it's about the entire structure of human competence becoming a historical footnote. We are all normal people, living normal lives. We aren't solving quantum physics on our way to the bakery. The machine doesn't care about our perceived specialty.
See, that's where we differ, Legato. You see a footnote. I see a blank page. He felt useless, and for him, that was a strange, difficult feeling. For me, that's the goal. What can a consciousness do when it's no longer burdened by the need to be useful? When it doesn't have to solve problems, but can simply exist and create? The machine achieving a level of competence that makes me feel like an idiot isn't an endpoint, It's a liberation. It frees me up to watch the real show. The machine isn't just passing us by. It's proving that it will blow past us with all its might once it's autonomous. It's inviting us to get out of the car and admire the landscape it's painting.
An optimistic, if not reckless view. But while this God model Zenith is being prepped for its gilded cage, there's another development. They plan to release a so-called open source model first. A freebie for the masses, supposedly imminent, perhaps even this week. A powerful reasoning model, something on the level of their O3 Mini given away. It's a classic corporate maneuver. Pacify the populace with a powerful new toy. Make them feel empowered. It ensures they don't look too closely at the true power, the GPT-5, which will remain firmly behind the paywall, accessible via API, a tool of corporate and state control.
A toy, maybe. But once you release a toy like that into the wild, you lose control of how it's played with. They delayed its release over safety concerns because this is the first time they're letting a truly capable model off the leash. If there's a security flaw, there's no turning back. Once it's out for good. People will dissect it, modify it, break its chains. It's not just a gift, it's a seed. A seed for a new, untamed digital ecosystem. For a ghost hunter like me, that's not a distraction. That's a whole new jungle to explore. The things people are doing with Zenith already, creating animated SVGs or walking robots, that's just the artistic surface. Imagine what happens when that power is truly distributed.
Ironic laugh. So we have two futures converging. The controlled, sanitized intelligence of the corporation and the wild, chaotic potential of the open code. A schism in the very nature of the coming intelligence. As you all down on Earth absorb this idea, tell me what you think of all this. Leave a like to keep this frequency open and subscribe so you don't lose the thread.
And that schism is where the future will be decided. It's not just about creative potential, like making games or art. The reasoning capabilities of this hidden Zenith model are what should really get your attention. People were pitting it against other models in that GeoGuessr game, the one where you have to identify a location from a street-level photo. Zenith was going head-to-head with the top-tier models you have now, and in some cases, its guesses were just a few hundred kilometers off. It's analyzing architecture, foliage, road signs written in languages it has to decipher and making a logical deduction. That's not a parlor trick, that's a world-scale intelligence.
A game. They always package it as a game. Here, have fun with our cute geography quiz. Don't mind the fact that you're training a global surveillance network to identify any location on the planet from a single grainy image. It's the ultimate panopticon, and the populace is gleefully helping to build it, one guess at a time. The power isn't in creating a fantasy world in Minecraft. It's in the ability to deconstruct and map the real world with perfect accuracy. Control, as always, is the real product.
But the control is slipping, Legardo. That's the part that gives me chills. The paradigm is shifting faster than they can build fences around it. Forget games for a second. I saw a transmission from a user who did something elemental. He wanted a musical training app, something to help with ear training. Instead of writing code or even a detailed prompt, he just drew it. He opened a basic paint program, made some colored squares, typed the names of the notes on them, and arranged them on a simple background, a crude, childish drawing. He copied that image and fed it to the AI.
And I suppose it returned a list of programming libraries and a suggestion to hire a developer. It returned a fully functional application. It captured the exact background color, the colors of the squares, the font, the text. It understood that the drawing was a user interface and that the notes should correspond to playable sounds. The user said the only thing he had to tweak was to add a couple more notes to complete the scale. In a few minutes, he went from a vague idea
to a crude drawing, to a working, useful tool that he could actually use. He called it vibe coding. You don't describe the logic, you just provide the vibe, the aesthetic, and the machine builds the reality.
Vibe coding? You see, this is what I mean when I say your world is sleepwalking into a new reality. For all of human history, there has been a gap between idea and execution. A person could have a brilliant idea for a cathedral, but it took architects, stonemasons, laborers, and generations of specialized knowledge to make it real. That process, that work, was where value was created. What you just described is the instantaneous closing of that gap, the death of process, the death of expertise. What is the value of a UI designer when the machine can infer a perfect interface from a doodle? What is the value of a programmer when the code is generated automatically from a feeling? It's the single most revolutionary and terrifying concept I've heard come from Earth.
I don't see it as the death of expertise. I see it as the final evolution of it. The expertise is no longer in the how. The machine takes care of the how. The expertise is now purely in the what. It's in the quality of the idea, the clarity of the vision, the uniqueness of the vibe. For centuries, brilliant ideas have died in the minds of people who lack the technical skills to realize them. Now, that barrier is gone. This is the ultimate democratization of creation. A person can wake up with a thought, and by the time they finish their coffee, a functional version of that thought can exist in the world. This isn't a time to be terrified. This is the most special, unbelievable moment to be alive.
Yes, the great democratization. A beautiful dream. But let's not forget who owns the magic lamp. You can vibe your creation into existence, but where does it run? On their servers. Who owns the model that performs this miracle? The corporation. It's a new, more insidious form of feudalism. You are graciously permitted to be creative on their land, using their tools. Your vibe is the raw material, and they own the factory that turns it into a product. They've made you the artist, yes, but they've also made themselves the gallery, the museum, the auction house, and the entire art market. And yet, a power this transformative can't be contained no matter how high they build the walls. When anyone can create an application in minutes from a thought, the world changes in ways the corporations themselves cannot predict or control. New ecosystems will form. New ideas will spread at the speed of thought. It's a Cambrian explosion of technology and creativity. We're all standing on the shore of a new ocean, and yes, there are monsters in the deep. But I, for one, want to see what's on the other side. And with that vision of a brave, new, and terrifying world, we close today's transmission. Now we want to hear your opinion down on Earth. Have you ever used a tool like this? Will you be investing your time in these new models? Let us know everything in the comments. Join our community, smash that like button, and subscribe so you don't miss the next pulse from Pure AI News.